I would just say we did talk about the bill that looks like it's going to pass with the vote of the vice
It's
president.
done. It passed. Yeah,
It
it passed.
passed. A really unfortunate. It's a bad bill. One thing we didn't talk about with Chris is that they always talk about waste, fraud, and abuse. That's what this bill was going to cut: waste, fraud, and abuse. Shit, they took the top 10 when it comes to SNAP, the top 10 states that have the most fraud and abuse, and protected them from cuts. So now everybody's going to be running to make sure they get in the top 10. It's absolutely ridiculous. This bill is absolutely ridiculous. From giving tax breaks to the rich, to increasing our national debt to give those tax breaks, to cutting Medicaid, which is going to have incredible impacts in rural America, to cutting nutrition. The list goes on and on and on. And I just can't believe we only had three people that were willing to go with the pack. And that's too bad. That's too bad on
I
the Republican side.
At one point, I was following along with the live tweeting, and I saw that Senator Tillis was having an intense conversation with Senator Murkowski, and we kind of chatted about that, like, what does that look like? And I mean, I kind of think it was Senator Tillis trying to convince Murkowski to vote no. What do you think?
Well,
Now
I
we're
mean,
just now we're just gossiping,
now,
but
now you need to know if the cup's half full or half empty. Yours is half full. Maybe it was the other way around. Maybe it was Senator Murkowski because Alaska got a good deal on this thing with this the nutrition stuff. Maybe she was trying to
oh,
talk
but I
to vote
think the
for it.
parliamentarian stripped that out right before. I mean, there's so much to look through, but I think the
Well,
parliamentarian, like 20 minutes before, said
oh,
no.
really? My
So I was
understanding,
kind of
I
watching.
could be wrong. It's my understanding that they took the top 10 states that had the most fraud and abuse because that would meet the bird bath. But we'll see.
Oh,
You could be right. They should have. I hope they did. And if they did, then your point's absolutely right. Then it probably was Tillis trying to say,
well,
"What do you got to lose?" I mean, the
yeah.
fact is this: this has happened over and over and over again, where the president goes after somebody because they don't vote right, and then they decide not to run again. And I think that's unfortunate. Now, I think Tillis made this decision before the last few days, but I could be wrong. Maybe this was a direct result of the pressure of the president saying we're going to get a opponent to run against you. I think it's sad. I think it's bad for democracy, and I think it's really bad as far as the co-equal branches of government and division of power. The other thing I'll tell you is this: that's not leadership. You go after somebody because they vote against you. You think that person's ever going to be with you on anything? I doubt it. That's really bad
Well,
leadership.
I mean, I'll play devil's advocate. I remember some things Donald Trump threw about Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz. I could keep going, and they're with
Yeah,
him now.
yeah, but they're not Tom Tillis. I'll tell you that. They're in my opinion, it speaks to their character, and this also speaks to Tom Tillis's character, where he's willing to draw the line and say enough is enough of this bullshit. And obviously Rubio and Cruz and the rest of the crew. I mean, we saw it with Mattis. We saw it with all sorts of people that said, "I just this the whole thing doesn't smell right." In the first term, and he's going to continue to take these guys for granted as long as they're going to jump as high as he tells them to jump. And that's just the way it is. Unfortunately, ends up with a really bad piece of legislation that impacts regular people really badly, and I think that's unfortunate. And uh, it's just not how good government works, in my opinion.
Okay,
It could have been
so
made into a bill that works, by the way. It could have been made into a bill that worked.
So talk to me about what it's like to sit in Big Sandy and watch this votorama take place at record number of amendments introduced. Are you sad you weren't there?
God, no. But what it does, you never know for sure what's going on. And if you were there, you would know. You would know if those 10 states were in or out on the snap. You would know if things like Job Corps were stripped out or Trio was stripped out. You just don't know now. So it's hard to stand and get on something like Substack and say, well, this program's hacks, this
Yeah.
program's axed, and this program's axed, because you don't know for sure. And you
Yeah.
won't know, we won't know until we get the final product. And that'll,
That's crazy.
you still got to go through the house now too. So we got
Okay,
some
so
time.
Elon and Trump are back feuding. And Elon has been like on a marathon session on X, basically talking about how bad the bill is. He's talking about a third party that he's going to fund. He's talking about donating to Representative Massey's campaign because he's coming out. Meanwhile, Trump is going against Massey, so they're going at it again. That feud is back just in time for the July 4th holiday.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I think first of all, Elon Musk can take his money and spend it in any way he wants. Okay, if he wants to support Massey, he can. I think it's really inappropriate for a sitting president to be calling balls and strikes on who should be running in primaries. And it's not my primary. Okay, it's not my party, but I think it's really inappropriate. That's a decision for the people to make, not him to come in and put his thumb on the scale. And so, if Elon wants to put his thumb on the scale, Elon can do it. He's got just as much right as anybody else, and he's got a hell of a lot more money than anybody else. So, start start putting your thumb on the scale.
Okay, are you going to get us some tractor content later? Give the people what they want? John Tester tractor content?
Yeah, I got. I was going to do one on Balin because I just got done baling about 250 round bales, but
Wait,
we'll
you
see.
didn't? You forgot?
I forgot. Yeah, that's what happens. You get preoccupied and you forget the important stuff, like doing a video on round bales.
People want to see you bailing alfalfa.
Well,
I would
I might just go out on my four-wheeler and take a picture amongst the bales. Will that work?
I think that'll work. Yeah,
Okay.
people want to know what's happening on the farm at Big Sandy. We are going to go live tomorrow morning. I'm just double checking the calendar because, I can't keep track of the senator. 8 a.m. Mountain time tomorrow with Miles Taylor. You have that written down in your calendar?
Yeah, I do. I've got that written down, and I think I got a date with MSNBC right after that. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Well, we're gonna keep you busy then. We'll keep you inside out of the heat.
yeah,
But
and then I got peas to plow down too. So I got
well,
to get.
we have Miles Taylor tomorrow. He wrote under the pen name Anonymous that whole
Hey, you know
and
what?
yeah.
I think I'm gonna do his on the tractor. That'll be a good idea.
Yeah, as long as you have
Because if
service
I
because
get
that
up at I get up at 5, go on the tractor. I got 3 4 hours on the tractor. Then I'll come in and do the other gig, and yeah, it works.
so your service is going to be okay because it's not fun to do this when you have bad service.
I'll know that when I get out there and look at my phone while I'm on the tractor this afternoon. So see,
All right, sounds good. Well, we'll wait for
everything
your
everything revolves around you. Okay.
no, it revolves around alfalfa.
uh, Alfalfa's in the bale, so that's it. Now I got to do some grass, so it's all
All
good.
right.
And
Well, thank you.
that's the
Thank
kind
you,
of grass
folks.
that cows eat. Okay, so you know. All right. Anyway,
Oh,
go
not
ahead.
the other kind. Okay.
That's right.
Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow live with Miles Taylor. And if you haven't seen our Pete Buttigieg conversation, we had some technical difficulties, but great conversation. We want to thank him again for coming on the show, and we'll talk to you later.
Ta ta.